What is happening with the Seattle real estate market? We're here, September 2023, and there's been a lot of changes really to the market this year. We've seen interest rates climb higher than we've seen in a very long time, and it's really had an effect on the market. So in this video, I really just want to talk about what's going on in the market right now and what we should expect moving forward for the rest of this year and into next year. So if you're on the fence about buying or selling your home, hopefully this is some good information to give you some insight on when the best time for you might be to do so. So I like to just start out by looking at some of the numbers, looking at the stats to see what the trend is looking like for some of the more important categories. First off, that's median home prices. So we're going to look at both King and Snohomish County here. On last month's video, we talked about how median home prices in King County fell. They went from $940,000 in June to $900,000 in July. Well, this month, August, it went actually back up a little bit. Not up a lot, went up to $910,000. So not a huge amount, but it did not continue to decrease, which is actually very interesting to see. Let's look at Snohomish County here, see if it's the same trend. Snohomish County prices actually did fall, went from $760 to $750 and then down to $725 here in August. So it didn't fall a drastic amount, but it definitely fell a little bit here as we went. So neither one of these changes, both in King and Snohomish County for median home prices, neither change is drastic. But what we can see here is home prices really are not going up much. I know they went up a little bit in King County, but $10,000 month over month, not much of an increase. It's really just starting to plateau, it looks like, in King County. And Snohomish County will keep an eye on things and see if it continues to fall or if it continues to plateau as well. Let's look at the number of sales to get an idea of the activity in the market right now. Home sales went up a little bit in King County. This is more closer to that, hey, went up a little bit, but it's more like a plateau. 713 sales in August in King County, up from 1,676 the month before. And of course, 2 months, June, it was 1,900. Now this is typical for this time of year. We're getting into the slower season. It's September. We're getting into the fall time here, so these numbers are kind of going on trend that they do every single year. Now in Snohomish County, these numbers actually went up this past month, went up to 830 from 717. June was 754. So this is pretty interesting to look at. This is a good-sized jump in Snohomish County when it comes to those number of sales. So that shows there's still a good amount of activity in the market. There's still, despite interest rates, there's a good amount of buyers that are still shopping for homes and looking to get into something. Some of that can be, hey, it's August. There's people that are trying to make that move before school season starts, so people rush into the market to try and get that done before September. That certainly can have an effect. But it is interesting to see that total sales number did actually increase here this past month. All right, now let's look at new listings. The last stat here we're going to see, this just gauges inventory from it. What direction is inventory heading in? In King County, it has decreased. 2,038 new homes hit the market. That's down from 2,147 the month before. And of course, June was closer to 2,400. Now this, again, like I said, this is with the season. This is what happens this time of year. So this is not a surprise. This is not indicative of a market falling or anything. It's just less people are putting their homes on the market as we get later into the year because that prime selling season is spring and early summer. In Snohomish County, we've stayed pretty stagnant. 917 in August. The month before was 901, tiny bit of an increase. The month before that in June was 977. So no huge changes here in Snohomish County. It stayed pretty even, and this number we can expect will fall off now here going in September, October through the rest of the year. So what do these numbers mean for where we are as a market and what we can maybe expect moving forward? Interest rates, as we know, have gone up quite a bit, and they're up over 7%, closer to 7.25% or so right now. Mortgage News Daily, this is a great resource for you to keep an eye on what rates are doing. If that's something that interests you, this is kind of the best resource that I've found when it comes to tracking interest rates on a daily, weekly basis. So keep that in mind. But you can see rates well over 7% now. Now, these interest rates, of course, have affected our market here in two different ways. For one, a lot of homeowners right now have 3% rates on their house because they bought when rates were low, or they just refinanced their house when rates were near 3%. Because of that, a lot of sellers do not, or a lot of homeowners rather, do not want to become sellers. They don't want to put their home on the market because they don't want to go from a 3% rate, buy their next home, and go to a 7.5% rate. So they're staying put with that low interest rate. So it's caused this year's inventory to be just low all year round. On top of that, because of the higher interest rates, there are not as many buyers out in the market, because when you have 3% rates versus 7% rates, it makes a huge impact on how much house you might be able to afford. Now, that's not to say there are no buyers out. We saw that activity in Snohomish County with the number of sales actually going up in August to 830 sales from 717 the month before. So that shows us there is still a steady amount and a good amount of buyers out in the market, because after all, there's always people that need to move. Now, one of the more common questions that I get asked, especially from my home buyers here, is, hey, should I buy now? Should I wait until rates go down? I'm really not sure what I should do. And here's how you have to look at it. There is no perfect market to buy a home in. When rates go back down, let's just say rates go to 4.5%, 5% at some point, 5.5%. Whenever that happens, an influx of buyers are going to flood the market. When that happens, home prices are going to escalate quite a bit. Homes are all of a sudden, they're going to get 10 to 15 offers on them again, like they did a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So sure, the benefit of you waiting is you can get a lower interest rate, but if you wait, you're going to pay a lot more for that house. So people get caught into this trap of, oh, rates are too high. I can't buy right now when it's 7%. I'm going to wait till it's 5%. Well, that $750,000 house right now, when rates go to 5%, is going to be well over $800,000, $850,000 maybe. So keep that in mind. The best time for you to buy a home is when it makes sense for you to buy a home, not with what the market is doing and all these external factors that you cannot control. If you are in a place financially where it makes sense for you to buy a home, then that's the right time for you to do so. The plus side to this market right now with these higher interest rates is there's not a lot of competition on these homes. There's a lot of homes that only get one offer, maybe two offers. Some of the cream of the crop homes could get 3 to 4 offers, but we see a lot of homes that are sitting for a few weeks at a time, some that sit for a couple months, a few months. So you have much more opportunity with these homes to get in without bidding wars, versus if you wait till rates come back down, you are not going to have that option. Along with that, you have much more leverage to negotiate with the seller of that home. So if you need help covering some of your closing costs, or you need help recouping some money so you can do some repairs on that home, maybe it's a home that needs a little bit of TLC, a little bit of updating, we have leverage to negotiate that with the seller of the home. And of course, we have leverage to negotiate that sales price on that home. Just because it's listed at a certain price doesn't mean you're going to have to pay that in this market currently with these higher interest rates. We often have the ability to negotiate that price lower. So there are pros and cons to no matter what market you buy in. Focus on when it makes most sense for you to buy. All right, well, that wraps up my thoughts on the current real estate market here. I'm an active real estate agent in this area, in the greater Seattle area. So if you live over here or you're moving over here, you're looking to buy or sell a home and need some help, I'd be more than happy to help you out. Feel free to reach out to me at my info below. Thanks for watching this one.